any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush. Cause I'm top shelf, I ain't got wealth, but I'm on my grind like park rails. I'd sell the shoes right off my 2 feet, then add one, that's a yard sale. Got dumb bars that be smarter than Harvard, Yale. Take your pictures elsewhere, you wanna be TMZ, I wanna be VIP. Quit pandering, I'm not answering cause I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. All of that bark and no bite, that's alright. Not everyone can be the big dog. Take a walk, kick rocks. Can't keep me out cause I pick locks. They hearing me knocking, I'll never be stopping. I keep this shit popping like lip gloss.
Well, all right. Man, what a time to be alive. Except the sadness of no playoffs for hockey, no playoffs for basketball. Got some baseball on the tube, but we got to wait till tomorrow to get any more of that playoff action. But that's all right. We're still going to have a good time talking some sports, having some fun. And I got Gonzo from Gonzo's Sports Room. What is going on, my brother?
Yeah, not a whole lot. Waiting on the Reds game to come on. And been listening to them talk about Deshaun Watson's press conference and stuff today.
Yeah. That's what I was going to kind of open up with, was talking about Deshaun, man. You know, it just gets uglier and uglier and uglier. But I got to be honest with you. So I guess that's at the backstage. So 26 lawsuits. There's 24, but two more lawsuits are getting ready to be announced into the court system, if they haven't already been announced into the court system. The 26th woman said that she was watching Ashley Solis and Kyla Hayes give their first national TV interviews with HBO's Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel, and felt compelled and inspired to come forward. And so now we sit at, or is going to be sitting at 26. My question is, you know, it's hard for me to think, Gonzo, that some of this probably is money motivated. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. It's just hard not being able to look at all the facts about it. You would think something had to happen for this many women to come out, but I mean, you've also seen where stuff can be a lot of stuff is motivated by money as well. So it's a tough situation. Deshaun Watson was practicing today, so he's allowed to work out and everything until they decide if they're going to suspend him or not.
Oh yeah, they're going to have him out. I mean, until it comes down officially that, you know, he's done or whatever. You know, they're going to they pay them the money, so they're going to get their money's worth, at least out of the training. So, well, yeah, I agree with you. You know, it's interesting to me.
How big of a distraction do you think that's going to be? Say he gets to play.
Oh, it's huge. It's freaking huge.
Say he gets to play. That's all the media is going to talk about every Cleveland Browns game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a distraction for the players. It's a distraction for him. It's a distraction for the coaching staffs and so forth. I mean, of course, it's going to be a distraction. How is it not a distraction? I guess my question is, you know, for me, what makes it so hard for me is these 20. Well, I should say the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th women to come out since the 22nd women up to the 22nd woman had already gone through the court process. To me, it just seems crazy that they wait this damn long and all this craziness to come out. I don't know. I just don't like the fact that they waited so long into the process. It almost, for me, it takes away a little bit of the credibility.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I just feel
like if it was anything, I just felt they should have came to a lot sooner for it to be credible. You know what I mean? He said 26 times when you stop after the first day. You know, hey, I kind of say the same thing myself, right? So, and again, I wonder what kind, you know, are these, you know, last four women going to have actual real evidence that they can used against him. Obviously, I think 24 had evidence. Well, and that's the thing. She says that he did these things, but there's no physical evidence to prove it. So how do we know he really did unless you had a camera watching it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the grand jury decided not to indict him on anything, so they can't have a whole lot.
It just seems really fishy in my book, man. I don't know. Part of me thinks that, this is going to get, in terms of at least on the legal side. Now, of course, you don't know about the civil side, but I think on the legal side, I have a at least a 60% favorability that Watson will probably walk away from this. Just because I don't know how much more different or how much more evidence would be available to them, more than what the other ones gave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I don't think anything criminal is going to come out of it. I think something civil could come out of it. He's probably going to lose a lot of money.
Right.
But
Rob,
other than that, I think that's probably going to be the main thing, other than what the NFL decides to do. And is either way, that's the bad thing. Even if he didn't do anything wrong, his reputation has been ruined.
Oh, man, his rep took a big time beating about 6 months ago. But and of course, the biggest thing for him is the endorsement dollars that he's going to be out, right? Because let's be honest, endorsement dollars is what everybody wants. And how do you, I could care less about the fans. Okay, fan, you like me, you don't like me. But the fact that it's killing his endorsement dollars, now that's eating into his pocket. Now, granted, he's got $230 million. So I don't really feel too bad for him if he's able to keep the money and not get it voided. But still, man, how much more money could he have got?
I read something, even if he don't get a play, he like $50 million of it was guaranteed or something. So he had something.
Well, now what they're trying to do, what they're saying they could possibly do, depending on the outcome of this, of this trial, or when it goes to trial, is that the Browns have a right to void the 230, and he can keep and possibly even go after his bonus. And I think that's really what they're contesting, is how much of the bonus would he have to get back if they void the 230 is just voided. But now they're looking at the bonus and how much of the bonus would he be able to keep, or have to give all of it back. So that's kind of where I think it gets real sticky. So Rob, what's up, my brother?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling excelente due to Jack Daniels' Tennessee Punch. By the way, I was really shit, but we'll put that back down. So it's just going to be clear right now. But I'm doing good. Stat Guy, what is up, my brother? It's been a long time no see.
Oh, I've been busy. I'll be heading off to Omaha for the College World Series tomorrow morning.
Man, oh man. What a time to be alive when you can take off in the middle of the work week and go watch baseball. And that's a good day.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm right with you, brother.
Hey. hey, you know what? I always say this, I always say this we see the pre-show alcohol levels, and I really am kind of curious to see the post-show alcohol levels.
Well,
because mine's got friends.
Hey, to take a line from Pride, we smoking on that Celtics pack tonight.
Hey. Okay, so Rob, here's the deal, man. Deshaun Watson now, 2 more cases are in the works. The 26th case, like I was telling Gonzo, the woman said that she was watching Ashley Solis and Kyla Hayes give their first national interviews on HBO's Real Sports with Brian Gumbel, and now she all of a sudden just felt compelled to come forward. What do you mean? And again, they didn't have any evidence in the first 22. How much evidence are they going to get off of 23 through 26? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there? I mean, to me, I think he walks, because I don't think there's going to be any damn difference between the first 22 and the second 4. What do you think?
Well, first I'm gonna say this. Stat Guy, what's up, my boy?
Not much, Rob. You?
First, I'm gonna say this. First of all, Jay, thank you for having me on the show again.
Yes, sir.
Time and time again. Good to see my boy Gonzo as well. But I don't want this to get misinterpreted. We're not saying that the women are lying. Like, I don't want any woman to feel like they can't come forward if they felt victimized. So I want to get that out, and the way that all of these women have been coming at Deshaun Watson, it's kind of hard to say that all 66 of these women are lying. But at the same time, it's like, if there's no evidence found and it's more women trying to come out with that, it's like everybody's just trying to hop on the bandwagon, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah, and that's my case. So, because let's be honest, even at number 24, who said that, Deshaun had given his manhood on top of her face, unless she collected that semen or had pictures of it or something tangible that it actually happened, is it really just a he said, she said type of thing?
Yeah.
I mean, like Stat Guy, what's your opinion on it?
I mean, at this point, I don't think Watson ever plays again.
Okay.
And you can kind of look at it kind of similar to the Trevor Bauer situation in Major League Baseball. Trevor Bauer was accused of doing what he did to only 2 women. And he was found innocent at the end, but yet now we're going in 14 months after he was convicted and he has yet to throw another pitch in baseball. Watson not only is facing 20-some counts, but you have more and more counts every single day where now it's up to 66 counts. I don't believe that he did this to 66 women, but I believe he did do it to some women because 66 women aren't just going to come forth for no reason. And if that's the case, at what point does the NFL just step in and say enough is enough? You need to sit until we get to the bottom of this. And after he missed the season last year, he's on the verge of possibly missing a season this year. There's not a team in the world that's going to sign him after he sits for 2 full seasons.
And so in that case, do you think that he doesn't play again is going to be because of the NFL will be suspending him that many years, and you think they're just done with it?
I think it's going to be because let's for example, say that he did this to all 66 women. Yeah. He's going to get banned from the NFL because there's not a suspension that's going to be long enough to even do like the punishment does the crime or whatever. There's not going to be a suspension long enough that you can give him if he did this to 66 women. So basically at that point, the NFL is going to have to say, like, we're done with you because there's not a suspension long enough that we can give you that's going to be okay to make it justifiable what you did. That's why I think right now the NFL is just going to end up either suspending him this season or putting him on that commissioner exempt list like some other leagues do for this year. That way they can just kind of put it on the back burner, not worry about it for a year, take the rest of this year to figure out how many women he did this to, if he did it to anybody, figure out how many women are actually telling the truth. And then once you get to next year, then you can kind of be like, well, we found out you did this to 10 women, so we're going to suspend you an additional year, which means you'd be literally out of the NFL for 3 years. And I don't care how young you are, not playing in the NFL for 3 years, you're not going to be able to come back.
Hey, we see what happened to Kaepernick, right?
And Kaepernick was 27, 28, I think, when he ended up leaving the NFL. Watson's only 25 right now. But even then, 25, 26, 27, the next time you'd be able to play is 28. How many teams are going to need a quarterback by then? Probably none, because you look at the AFC and how many AFC teams are set for the next decade plus with their quarterback.
Yeah. And
so interesting love.
Let me just say this, Jay. Not to mention, you got to also look at the Cleveland Browns front office now and say, what were you thinking while this man is in the middle of an investigation, giving him $230 million guaranteed? So now you're looking at the front office like, what kind of moves are we making here to provide progression for the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of wondering too. So if he does get this type of ban, or if he misses 2 years, or whatever the case may be, I do believe that the Browns get that 230 back, and then I think it really just becomes down to how much of the bonus will he be allowed to keep. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know.
The Browns get $190 million back because no matter what happens, Deshaun Watson gets that signing bonus.
Yeah, he's going to get the signing bonus.
The signing bonus, I think, was like $37 to $40 million. So no matter what happens, Watson gets that.
He's going to.
So you don't think that because there were talks that they were going to go after his part of his signing bonus.
You can go after a part of it, but there's really no way that you can get that back because the signing bonus you get up front. So the moment that you sign that contract, Cleveland writes him a $40 million check and it goes in his bank account.
Correct. So
Like
he's
I'll tell you this.
you can't really just be like, oh, we get that $40 million back. Well, I already cashed it and started spending it, so you're not going to get that $40 million back.
Now you got to figure out who's your quarterback because now you have a salty Baker Mayfield.
And the thing is,
that's still signed. You still have to think about the fact that you guys were willing to go look for another quarterback when I was here.
Well, that's why I said there's in my opinion, Baker Mayfield's making $16 million right now to be a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Cleveland has not traded Baker Mayfield. And I think that reason is they are waiting.
That's their insurance policy.
Like that, they're waiting to figure out what's going on with Watson.
For sure.
Because they don't want to put themselves in a position where they don't have a quarterback versus they still have somebody that's been in that system for 5 years. But now you see all these Baker Mayfield to Carolina rumors starting to heat up where Carolina's trying to get Mayfield back. If that's the case, Cleveland should pull the trigger and just do Mayfield for Sam Darnold straight up. And that way, if Watson can't play, well, then you have Sam Darnold in Cleveland and you don't have to worry about a disgruntled Mayfield at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but come on. Do you really want Darnold? I would much rather have disgruntled Mayfield than Darnold, to be honest.
I wouldn't because you're not going to get 100% out of Mayfield.
Right, he's disgruntled. Like Jay.
Plus, you can get Darnold cheaper.
You get Darnold cheaper, and you could sign him to an extension if he does well for a lot cheaper than what Mayfield's getting at this point.
Let's use this as an example. That's like going to tell you, Jay, that there's a chance we went to go sign another analyst for Unscripted, even though we have you here. And we plan on sending you to another show, but we're just trying to figure out what we're going to do with you. How much of your energy are you going to put in the Unscripted now, realizing that you're not wanted?
Oh, yeah. No, I understand. I don't know, though. Honestly, I think it depends on how you approached me afterwards. Like if you sat me down or took me to a steak dinner and said, look, man, clearly, we thought this, or this. We want to make amends. We want to do the right thing. I don't know, man. I think I don't know, man. I think I don't know. And then again, hey, sometimes money talks too. What if I don't know. That's a tricky one, Rob. I do think you can mend fences, but you're going to have to pick the right words and the right actions,
Oh, it's going to have to be a lot of right actions. We're going to have to see some incentives. I almost need to see a revamp of my contract. Right in.
Yeah, I agree. And then too, but then that's where Cleveland has to say, okay, now what is this worth to us? Oh, I tell you, man, Cleveland really put themselves in a pickle, man, with that whole Deshaun. I mean, they really did, man.
They have because they didn't realize that. Like, I get that he's beat these cases in court, and there's still a lot of civil cases pending against him, but. As far as like major crimination, like he's been able to fly under the radar, but like now it's like 66 women. It's like, dude, like all of these women can't be lying.
Yeah.
And that comment that just came up there from John, if this happened two or 3 years ago, why wait? How many times have we seen this in the past where somebody does something to somebody and they're just afraid to come forth because they know the repercussions that could come from it. So they're just waiting for somebody else to come forth first. And once that first domino falls, then you see all the dominoes fall after it.
And again, this goes back to the situation we were speaking about this morning on the morning show. And that's why do players put themselves in positions like this? Like you're Deshaun Watson, you're a starting quarterback in the NFL. Why do you have to force yourself on women that's going to give you themselves without any force? Like I don't understand. Go for the women that want you. Like, why put yourself in any predicament? Like, it's going to get to the point. Like, I'm like Shannon Sharp. Like, dude, saying no offense to my counterparts, but when I see certain women in the elevator, I won't even get on the elevator. Like, I'm gonna wait until you get to your floor. I can wait on the next elevator. It's like, dude, it's like. You don't want to put yourselves in any predicaments where anybody can say you did anything to them.
Hey man, it's just like with Harold, Montreal Harold. He should have had somebody go get that damn weed for him. He had to go get it himself.
Yeah, he was an idiot for that. And I hate to call people idiots, but sometimes if the shoe fits.
He had to go get himself. But that's the same thing for Deshaun. Look, I don't know if you guys know this, but he could have made money off of this. Now, watch this now. I'm gonna show you how Deshaun screwed up. There are matchmaking services for multimillionaires that they have TV shows on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Literally, a TV show is called Millionaire Matchmaker. All you gotta do is go on that show and say, "Hey, look, I want X amount of money for this episode. You're gonna pay me a little bit of money for me to be on this episode, but then I want you to matchmake me with a woman, the right kind of woman." You know what I'm saying? To where you get and you give them, you know, hey, look, I want her to have this body shape, this hair color, this personality, whatever. But you're not only getting your woman, but you're going through a service that's more professional, and you're gonna probably make some money off your episode. I'm just saying. Instead of giving up money, you can be receiving money. Take it for what you will.
Yeah, let's let you know what, and like I said, we never want to, you know, go against the women and say their accusations are not true. So, you know, I always say alleged. You know, what I'm saying you know you're innocent until proven guilty. So I don't want to also persecute Deshaun Watson as well until we find out what's happened. But like when it's like 66 women, dude, that are all saying the same thing and have the same story. It's like, man, that's a tough look. Even if you're not found guilty, like you mentioned, you're going to see a lot of endorsements get lost because nobody's going to want to have their company associated with your name.
Hey, first of all, John Suggs, if ASAP were to give me that kind of money, I have no problem shaving that stuff.
You deserve it, Jay. You deserve it, Jay.
Hey, and Rennie Barry Valdez, better known as Pride.
Right. I'm about to say, don't call him Rally. His name is Pride.
I just like saying Rayleigh Barrett Valdez, like Juan Valdez, like is Juan Valdez his cousin? I'm just asking for a friend. But Pride, he said, "Y'all
stop ducking and dodging, Pride." I came on here to give you your apology when the Celtics won. Don't duck and dodge now that they're losing, brother.
He's going to end up like Karl Malone, a great player who no one will want to mention because of their choices. Shake him. By the way, you know Karl Malone still can't go near a school building? I'm just saying.
You can't. Not when you've been with an underage girl.
Hey, I know, man. Listen, I'm just putting it out there.
Where my daughter goes to school at and you've been accused of being with underage girls. Like, come on, Karl Malone. You shouldn't go to any schools.
No, but seriously, hey, listen, you know, golly, man, yeah, Karl Malone, what the hell were you think? You know, you were such a good basketball player, and you did some stupid stuff like that. That's just crazy to me.
You know, people do stupid things. You know, stupid things. You know, money doesn't change stupidity. That's my biggest saying.
Hey, that's true. Hey, Terry McLaurin. You know, obviously he hasn't showed up to mini camp. I guess it's, you know, probably some issues with his contract. Do you think he's going to ask for a trade, or do you think they get a deal done? Me personally, I think they get a deal done. I don't personally think that. Oh, his Pride, by the way. I don't think that McLaurin. I don't think McLaurin doesn't get a deal done because that's their number one guy in Washington, and they're going to need him for wins. So I think eventually a deal does get done. Pride. Oh, hold on.
Hello, Pride. Did I? Is it like Candyman? I said your name 5 times in the mirror and you showed up.
No, you made a good point. You came on, you took your licks, so I'm a come on and take my licks too. You feel me? If I can take my licks after game 2, I can take my licks right now. So I'll take them. I'm just glad we're going 6. No one can tell me nothing, bro. We going at least 6. Nobody can tell me nothing. I'm vibing right now, bro.
Hey, look, Pride. I'm not one to kick a man while he's down. I'm shaking your hand right now,
man.
That's
a lie, man. That's a lie. How many times I've done been down? You came over. Matter of fact, forget kick. You spit on me. I don't want to hear it.
Pride, I ain't got nothing but love for you, man. You're my brethren.
Not me. Hey, listen. One more win.
We are smoking on that Celtics pack, though.
No, whoa. Hold on now. Hold on, Rob Daniel. All right, hold on. Settle down. What's up, brother?
Rob Daniel.
One more game.
Rob Daniel. That's what we're going now.
Rob Daniel. Yeah, Rob Ruel. I'm trying to say Manuel, but Rob Ruel. Like they still got one more game. Okay.
They do.
Right?
They do. We can't count our eggs.
Let me tell you something though. One more game, and I get to see a freshly shaved No hair on the face whatsoever. No hair on the head.
No. I'm not shaving my beard. I'll shave my head.
Yeah, no. Don't back down now. You said you were going to shave the beard.
No, you never took that.
He
And
said,
I was joking.
no.
Nah, I never took that. I'm so glad I didn't shake on that part. I'm so glad I.
No, you did shake on it. We all heard you say it.
We shook on my head. We shook
on both of it. Chris Gonzales,
ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. This is called hedging. This is called hedging your bets. You see, what you do is you lay the plan out, but just in case, you leave something in your back pocket so the embarrassment is there all the way. You feel me? See, I said it, but we didn't shake on. We didn't agree. We agreed on my head. You see what I'm saying? Now going ball, that's going.
No. We did. We agreed on the face. Because you know what? You know how I know that? Because Pride. Your wife had issues with I think shaved into your beard or into your head. So we agreed then that you would just do the beard and the face and the hair, and you were good with that. So you did say that. I'm just telling you.
Jay, but we didn't agree on that. That was just a joke that we were going on. Look, Jay, you keep talking, I'll rescind the bet. You better stop playing, Jay. You
you wouldn't rescind the bet because that's not a character for you though, Pride. You're not that weak. You're
Hey, Pride is an honorable man. I'm not gonna go against his word, but
no, that's what I said.
We can always go back to the footage though.
Matter of fact, whoever can go back to the footage and let's verify and clarify to make sure everyone's on the same page. So that way, come punishment time, there's no and ifs or buts about it.
Oh, I didn't think there was any ands, ifs, or buts about it when I talked about you and you agreed to it, but I guess I don't know.
Listen. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I wear it.
Oh, you're wrong.
So listen,
you're wrong.
But here's the thing, Rob, because you said Jay, you said that's out of character. Look here, brother. You know what my middle name is? Sellout. So I throw my character away for a ring. So you got the wrong one on that one, Buster. Look here, man. I will sell out for that ring so bad at the expense of Steph Wardell. What kind of a name is Wardell? Come on, do better, man. What are you doing? Go change it. You're rich, bro. My guy rich. Go change your middle name. Imagine, oh yeah, Wardell. Like, come on, bro. Like, grow up. Do better, bro. I hate him so much. Stub your toes. I will say this, though. For as great as a shooter Steph Curry is, man, he get as cold as anybody else in the league, bro. I'm telling you, man, like, people don't understand your greatness. It measures out with you at your lowest. So the higher your greatness, the deeper your low ceiling is too.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
I just want to say, because a lot of people coming at Steph a little sideways, a little bit. And here's my thing, bro. After what he had to do, Game 4, I expected this from Steph. Because you asked that man to literally be Hercules and carry the team. You literally asked that from him. And a lot of times when we see, it's very, like, the problem is people look at guys like LeBron, guys like Mike, and they see the continued dominance, and we get blinded and think it's cake. But it's not always that easy for everyone. As great as Steph is, don't get it twisted. It's an all-time great. Greatest shooter of all time. No debate. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. But it just goes to show you, man, like, bro, like, it just shows you how much he had to do Game 4. It shows you just how much, because Game 5, he looked exhausted heading into the second quarter. He looked exhausted. He looked not even physically, more like mentally exhausted. He looked mentally exhausted, bro. If you thought Jason Tatum was begging for calls, what about Steph? After literally even wide open shots, he's looking at the ref. You know what I mean? And for me, it was like after that third missed three, it started getting to him like, damn, come on. Like, I'm better than this, bro. I got to snap out of it. And it's true. You know what I mean? But after what you did Game 4, bro, a lot of time, more times than not, that's how you look Game 5. You look kind of out of it, right? Because, again, if somebody fact checked me, I don't think he hit a single three.
I think it was 0 for 9.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, granted, he's still the greatest shooter of all time. People are going to use this to try to say, oh, you know, he's not the great. So, you know, whatever.
No, he just, I mean, think about the historic streak he was on. I think it was like 122 games, I want to say, or 23 that he's hit a three in every game. Yeah, that hasn't been done. Okay, he's going to have moments where he go 0 for 9. And what I mentioned earlier was this is the time that your team looks out for you. See, he looked out for his team in Game 4. He put his team on his back. He go for 43 points, 10 rebounds from your point guard. He puts his team on his back in game 4. So now it's time for his team to say, you know what, Steph, we got you. Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton II, Klay Thompson, and Draymond showed up for their boy. And Jordan Poole with a miraculous shot in the third quarter. Even though he hasn't played like the Jordan Poole we know, it's something about Jordan Poole. When he sees that ball goes in the bucket, he starts to get all the confidence in the world.
I don't know about that one, Chief, because here's the thing. That's if he even shoots. I've never seen a kid so scared before in my entire life. Swear to God, bro. And
he hesitated on a few last night where he was wide open.
Yeah. What is that movie? The one with Lil Bow Wow. I think it's like Mike. Matter of fact, I think it's like Mike. Homie was playing like Lil Bow Wow before the shoes. Mad scared, mad tentative. I'm like, yo, get this kid off because I don't know if the moment is too big or what, but Boston is stunting double teams at him. He takes one step past half court and he picks the ball up. I've never seen that before in my life. I've never seen that. Even Jeremy Lin, bro. Jeremy Lin, when he was going through his hell with Lin Sanity thing, and then after he left, even after he left, when he was at his lows, when he was I think it was in Toronto, the homeboy wasn't even, he was hardly getting touches. But when he got his touches, guess what? I promise you he was doing that thing Jordan Poole was doing. So I hear what you're saying, Rob, about, when that bucket goes in, but the problem is, there's times that he's way too scared to do anything. There's times where he eliminates himself on the offense and putting himself in the corner and refuses to move.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
But
So
let's not forget though. It's that 3 at the end of the third that changes the whole dynamic of that game.
I don't think so.
To me, after the Celtics went through what they went through, survived the first and the second, make a comeback in the third, have an amazing third quarter, and beats the Golden State Warriors at their own game by having a great third quarter. After all is said and done, as The Rock was saying, all the smoke is cleared, Jordan Poole hits that shot, that down one. He took that heart away, Pride.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
That. You know why? Because Golden State never looked back.
That had nothing to do with him. And first of all, the beginning of the fourth quarter was actually pretty contested. So you can't say they didn't look back.
They never looked back.
It had
you
nothing
say
to
pretty
do with
contested? Did they take a lead again?
Oh, yeah. Us being down by 1. Yep. That's Golden State running away with it. Rob, you got to do better, brother. Come on. You got to do better.
Hey, I can do better. Hey, Pride, what about your bench, Pride?
That was Andrew Wiggins.
Hold on, Bride. What about Boston's bench only giving you 10 throughout the whole?
Jay, I'm glad you said that.
1 really in the first half.
And Jay, I'm so glad you said it. Yep, our bench only give us 10. Your starting lineup give it a 0. What are we talking about now? Look, man, I'm chilling and I'm vibing. Golden State did what they had to do. They won at, I keep wanting to say Oracle, but.
Right, you just can't say good game, can you?
I said good game coming in. What you mean? I said good game.
Okay, Brian, don't take it so personal.
Come on. How many times I got to tell you? I'm a sensitive bitch. Come on now. We had this conversation before. I'm being sensitive. We had this conversation before. This ain't the first time I done told y'all on this show that I'm sensitive.
Hey, somebody tell Mrs. Pride to give Pride a hug.
I'm not even home right now, bro. I wish you could give me a hug. I'd be crying her. You don't understand, bro. I almost punched her. I didn't even watch right into the game.
Hey, you know what Pride did? Y'all ever see Don't Be a Menace? He had the Cuba Gooding Jr. moment. He just swinging it.
Bro.
Boys in the hood moment. I'm so sick and tired of this shit.
Yo, not even. I was mad as hell. I started screaming. My girl looked at me. She was like, "What?" I had my Ricky moment. Who was it? It was Andrew Wiggins. In like 5 minutes, he hit like I think it was like a mid ranger he hit. And I just leaned back like I was shot. My girl stood up. She's like, "Ricky!" I was down. I was like, "No, I ain't with it no more." I was butthurt, but question: Is it a best of 5 series?
What are you talking about?
The finals. Is it a best of 5 series?
No.
Is it like the best of 5? So how many games are they gonna play?
7.
It's a best of 7?
Oh, it's going.
Wait, but Golden State. Oh, Golden State won 3 games. So hold on. But if you won 3 games, that's the best of. What you mean it's over with?
Over with, Pride.
Bro.
Hold on. We're gonna go to independent. Hold on, time out now. We're gonna go to independent person, stat guy. I know you've been kind of quiet over there. Look, Celtics got to get back-to-back wins, which they have not done during this series. Back-to-back wins. Can they do it? Is it just insurmountable?
They can, but I don't think they will. I think they will at least force.
All right, get them out of here. Kick them out.
I think they'll force the games. I think they force a game 7. But I don't know. Golden State to me, just toys with people too long. And we've seen it this entire series, where if you look at this entire series, Golden State has outscored Boston by 1 point this entire series. So it's been a very balanced series. But in the third quarter, Golden State has outscored Boston by 97.
Yo, I saw when they threw that stat up during the game, and I was like, "Hey, no way, that's true." Like, hey, no way. And then on Twitter, NBA Twitter actually broke that down, bro. And when I'm actually looking at it, I'm like, "Yeah, bro, that's rough." Oh, that's rough, brother.
It's literally been one quarter that Golden State has been able to beat Boston, and that's the third quarter. They're plus 97 in the third quarter, but they're minus 98 the rest of the game.
See, that's why you the stat guy. That is why you are the stat guy.
Golden State is one of those teams that literally toys with you for 40 minutes. But then they have 1 8-minute stretch during the game where they just look unbeatable, and chances are if you can't keep up with them in that 8-minute stretch, you're not going to catch them.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually a good point Dustin made too. It's not like they kill the entire third quarter. It's not the entire. It's this crucial 5 to 8 minute stretch where it's either Steph. Well, this playoffs it's been Steph, but it's either like it'll be Steph is going bonkers, and we've seen it not even in the finals, but in the playoffs, it would have been Clay going nuts. Jordan Poole, I think, had a game or two where he went nuts. Where it's like it's just this stretch where they could literally just inbound the ball, throw it up, and it's a good shot, and they'll make it. Like,
and if you look at the Golden State Warriors' entire postseason, they're plus 475 in the third quarter, but they're minus 368 the rest of the game.
Yeah.
It's just that one quarter where they just come out at halftime and just bludgeon you for one quarter, and then it just shocks the team so bad they can't recover.
And the thing is and that's another thing. Like when they bludgeon you, it's the threes. Like the only reason why Golden State had one of those nights where from the 3-point line they kind of struggled some, right? So that's kind of really what it was. Like if you usually get normal Golden State, it's still 3-point barrage that just they come out. And like I said, within that 5, like then Dustin alluded to too, that 5 to 8 minute stretch where it's just straight 3 after 3 after 3, and then if you go and you stop one person, you still like you can go ahead and double Steph if you want. But then he'll just kick it out, and then for some unknown reason, they got the what's that thing? Team takeover. Yeah, play 2K, and they got that when you play My Career, you got takeover, and everyone's on fire. They got team takeover, my guy. Where like it's Steph got it, and guess what? Boom to Clay, and all of a sudden Clay from his mother's house, quack quack, and he's still eating her home cooked meals, bro. Draymond donkey at we were talking about Draymond, but Jordan Poole, bro, yo, he out here just whipping it for no reason whatsoever. Clay looked like good Clay, like not injured Clay, not crippled Clay, but game 6 Clay.
You mean closeout Clay? We don't call him game 6.
No.
That's closeout Clay.
Nah, closeout Clay is too disrespectful. I'm calling him game 6 Clay. That game 6, oh no.
Well, Pride.
We're not
disrespecting. I have to preach to you today, the Pride. I mean, they asked for Reverend Rob to come, and Reverend Rob showed up, Pride. The Boston Celtics have had a great playoff series, Pride. I mean, they swept the Brooklyn Nets, Pride. They beat Kevin Durant and the sometimes their Kyrie. They swept them, blew them out of the water.
Kyrie was there all 4 games. Don't do that.
And they beat the Milwaukee Bucks. They beat the defending champions. They were able to get the job done. Go on to beat the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference in the Miami Heat. I mean, Jimmy Butler with a historic game 6. They were literally a 3-point shot away from sending the Boston Celtics home, but the Celtics refused to lose. But unfortunately, Pride, and I say unfortunately, Lord Jesus, they went against the Golden State Warriors and the Warriors that put them in their place, Pride. Can I get an amen?
Negatory.
As we laid the Boston Celtics.
Negatory.
I mean, and it's ironic that their color is green and we're smoking on the Boston Pack. Can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah, my brother.
First and foremost, you ain't weak, okay? You ain't weak, okay? You're not a Golden State fan. Remember that. You too, Jay. Y'all not even Golden State fans. So for y'all to relish this, that's wild to me.
I love it. When Pride gets on the ropes, he starts attacking.
No. I'm just saying, like, imagine if it was Milwaukee in the finals. And I'm out here talking about, oh yeah, we. Bro, Rob would kill me for that. What you mean? Rob, you would kill me for that. Where the who? If it was Milwaukee and I'm saying we, you killing me for that. Be real, Rob.
I would let you have it.
Robertson. Okay, that's one. Two. Listen, if you want to portray yourself,
yes, Lord, Gridiron. Yes, Lord.
As a man, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Because you want to prevail yourself in the light, right? That's what you want to do. You want to say, oh yeah, I'm on God's side. But let me introduce you to the Morning Star, motherfuckers. Because look here, look and listen. Boston winning 2 in a row. Steph is gonna be like, oh man, I'm up out of here because he's gonna be too tired to carry him, right?
That's not likely.
Rob, was I talking to you? No, I wasn't. So do me a favor, Robert. Give me a moment, okay? I'll let you, just fake. I let you put up a fake preach out there, okay?
You didn't. You talked to my whole sermon.
And I'm gonna do it again, all right? So let's get back to reality. Boston gonna win 2 in a row.
I ain't got no worries.
Bro, we're gonna be
smoking
on the league pack. Steph Curry is gonna be like, I'm up out of here because I'm sick and tired of carrying. Clay gonna re-injure himself because he's depressed. Okay, Donkey's gonna go back to Never Ever Land and chill with Fiona and Shrek, so that way we can get him out of here. Jordan Poole gonna be drier
Pride, let it go. Let it go, Pride.
I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go.
Grab the bottle through the string. Here you go.
I got it.
Have a drink, Pride. It's over with, Pride. Have a drink.
They gotta win one more game.
They're more likely to win that one game than you are to win back to back.
Rob, you're out of your. Well, okay, hold on. That is
I'm out of my mind
for
making that statement. Is that what you was about to say?
No, Rob.
Hold on a minute now. Hold on, Pride.
Because it's probability. They have to win one game. We got to win 2. No, whose
fault is that? It ain't my fault that Boston couldn't take care of business.
Rob, you can't say that and try to act like you just said something philosophical and then you just broke it.
Was
like no dirt.
It was Sun Tzu-like.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Come on, Pride. Come on, bring it in. Give me a hug, man.
I'm giving you a hug. Don't worry. I'm hugging you out. It's still Bleep Chicago and Bleep Golden State, but I still love you. Cool people. But come on, do better, man. Do better. Because after Game 7.
Since Freddie liked to throw shots, at least I didn't pick the Golden State Warriors while they were in the finals.
I'm going to tell you this right now.
That's true.
I'll give you that one. But I'm going to put it to you like this. We going to give Steph, Draymond. We going to give Clay. We going to give Steve Kerr flashbacks to 2016. We going to give them flashbacks when they have to defend their home court and they can't see that confetti fall because they took a flame out in 7.
Preach, Yuki.
Probably still in the darkness. You're letting the delusions get arise, my son. Arise.
Let him take you to.
Hey, you know what? Hey, can I? Hey, I got one observation to make. I like how Jason Tatum wears the number 0 because at the end of this series, that's exactly how many rings he's going to have.
I'm glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that.
You talking about the almost superstar?
Yeah, the almost wannabe superstar, the guy that holds Steph Curry's jock-strapping cup.
I'm so glad y'all saying this. And I'm gonna tell you, you wanna know what's the funny part about it? Right now, if Jay Tatum was a free agent, Jay, you would get on your knees begging for him to go to waste his time to even look at that pathetic franchise.
Jason Tatum. Hey, listen.
I'll
take it.
Okay, so go back to the corner. What's the next topic? So all right, y'all. What's the next topic?
He's just not on my team.
What's the next topic?
Screw him.
That's fine.
Hey, listen.
That's what we're gonna do.
Rob, take it for what it is. Pride is basically throwing the proverbial white flag, and he knows he's done. He knows he's cooked. It's all good.
Who's throwing the white flag?
You know you threw the white flag, Pride. Calm down.
Only listen. Look here. Only white flag I got is a towel, and that's to wipe the sweat off my face, so that way I can continue to preach the.
Hey, when you hear the HPP, you know it's real. They say, Rob, what's the HPP? That's high pitched pride.
I might have a picture. I don't want to hear
that man said, ooh, I can't even do the voice to have. He said, ooh.
Can't stand you. Rob, I'm about to start giving you that Steph Curry hate. You try carefully, brother. You about to start catching that Steph Curry hate.
Hey, it's no worries. I can take the Steph Curry hate. You know why? Because people hate greatness.
Well, that was a very saucy 44 minutes of NBA talk. We're going to move on to a couple other things real
Pride,
quick.
I'm glad you came on, though, bro.
I miss you, bro.
I miss you, and I miss you too, Dustin.
And I'm still a little sad that you're not going to shave the beard like you told me you would. But you know what? That's okay. I love you anyway.
Oh man. Hey guys, salute.
Hey, salute. Hey, real quick, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about these NHL playoffs and what they mean for everybody. I'm just choosing one. I don't even know what
Hey, your eyes sound good almost anywhere you put me. You've been here a while, but they betting on the rookie. Better go and check in with your bookie, cause your bank account about to play hooky. My jeans got me short, that's why you overlook me. My jeans so fat, they lower than they should be. Mr. Goody Two Shoes, thank goodness I'm in a good mood. Never finish with my business, I can always outdo. Who's who? Cause all of you be sounding alike. Deuce, greatest album 2019. I mean, that's just me, TDP, PSG.
OMG, have you heard the new song?
We been cooking in the lab way before Wuhan. We're from boys to men, way before Mulan. Now it's all about the croutons, never need a coupon. I don't check the price, I just swipe, then I move on. Futons, how I elevate, only smoke out of state. Never far gone, need to be Armstrong out of space. That's one small step for the baby rappers, and that's one giant leap for the backpackers. In my backpack full of them pink Pampers. Don't be all up on my case like the Pink Panther. Already got 3 girls at home that need answers. I gotta meet these standards. I'm the father of the year though, raise a couple weirdos, screaming so fierce they pierce both earlobes. Here goes nothing, they go hear me coming. It's been a long light year, name still buzzing. Hopping in the same bucket, got the battery jumping. I'ma throw you in the trunk, you can feel me bumping.
To my family, my wife Vanessa, our daughters Natalia and Gianna, thank you guys for all your sacrifice. For all the hours I spent in the gym working and training. And Vanessa, you holding down the family the way that you have. I can't, there's no way that I can thank you enough for that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And what can I say? Mamba out.
All right, man.
Hey, what you trying to do? Make me cry?
I know, man. I still like to, I don't like Freddie Facts, but I like that part about Mamba. I love the Kobe Bryant aspect of it, and I just like to see things about it. But you know what? Hey, I love Kobe, man.
He said, I don't like Freddie Facts.
Oh, because it's always, I call it Freddie Delusions, but I just love, man. I love Mamba, man. I mean, he's one of the great. I love Kobe.
My favorite player before.
Yeah,
Steph Curry was crowned my favorite player, and I remember watching that game before we get into the NHL playoffs. I just remember watching that game and literally tearing up, man. Like to see Kobe put on a performance like that, score 60 in his final game, and I don't care how many shots it took him to get 60 points. The fact that you let a man that's on the way out of the NBA score 60 points was just amazing, man. And it's still surreal that we lost that man too soon. Rest in peace.
Oh, absolutely. To
the legend, Kobe Bryant, who will always, in my heart, be my favorite player.
Amen, bro. Like I said, it gets me too, man. When I watch it, it makes me tear up too because it's sad that we lost him, like you said, so young. So thoughts and prayers are still with the Kobe Bryant family.
Sure, and all the families that was affected.
Yes,
by that.
all the families. Hey, real quick, so we are going to dive into Colorado, Tampa Bay. I had Tampa Bay. I said along that they're going to three-peat. And here they are. They were able to get past the Rangers. They won like 3 games in a row. I mean, just crazy. I thought they found their footing. And here we are now. We got game 1 against arguably the best team on the other side of the river in Colorado Avalanche. And they made small work of the Blues. So it's going to be a very good series. It's going to be a very tough series. Stamkos, the center for – let's be honest. The Tampa Bay Lightning have a lot of stars. And Stamkos, their center, which has 481 career goals. You had Cacciarone, the wing player for them that is a former league MVP. You have Hedman, who is a 2020 top defenseman. And then you got Valesky, the 2021 MVP, and he's their goalie. So, I mean, these guys are star-studded. And the Avalanche, of course, they had their team as well. But, I mean, this Tampa team is still ripe, and they still have the core of those first two wins. So, I still am sticking by the three-peat. The Avs, I just don't think have faced anybody like Tampa in this playoffs. So, I think the Lightning are definitely going to push them to the brink. And we're going to find out what Colorado is really made of. Gonza, I'm going to start with you. What do you think is going to happen during this, or what do you expect to happen during Colorado-Tampa? And who do you got taking this series?
I have Colorado taking the series. I think their Colorado's speed is going to be a big difference in this series. They're good offensively as well, but their speed, I think, is going to give Tampa a lot of problems. So I like Avalanche to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I got you, brother. All right. What you got over there, Rob?
I don't know what's really been going on. I saw Tampa beat the Rangers, as I know most people, they love the New York Rangers, but I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Lightning to win the Stanley Cups. I saw the series they played against the Rangers is just something I turned on while the TV was on, and
right.
I like the way that they play. They're a defensive team. They get the job done. So I'm going with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I got a stat I found out from one of my coworkers. This is like one of the few times that two teams are playing in any finals where they don't have an S at the middle of their last name and their team name. So Lightning, Avalanche. Shout out to my coworker for hitting me with that fun fact.
That is a fun fact. Okay, and then Stat Guy, what do you think, man?
I think this series is going to be over in 5 games. I think Colorado takes care of business. They were 2-0 against Tampa Bay during the regular season. They've been the best team in the NHL from start to finish basically all year. They're the first team in NHL history that had 7 players with at least 20 goals. They have 3 30-goal scorers, with Mika Rantanen leading the way with 36 goals, Nathan McKinnon with 32, Gabriel Landeskog's got 30, Kadri's got 28, Makara's got 28, Burakovsky's got 22. I mean, they have so many weapons on offense where if you can hold them to under 4 goals, you got to consider that a win. As well as Vasilevsky has played in the playoffs for his career, he has not played that well this postseason. And if you have any sort of a down night against Colorado, you're just going to get blitzkrieg right out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Pride, do you watch hockey?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was in your wheelhouse. I just started watching hockey, so I didn't know if that was in your wheelhouse or not. So who do you got in this series?
Colorado. Honestly, I want to one-up Dustin. I can see this being sweet. Don't get it twisted. I like Tampa, but the problem with Colorado is they have so many different styles they can go out and play. They can play straight speed. They can play a physical game. They can play fast. They can play slow. They don't care. Like, they can win 1-0, but they can also, if you want to shoot out, they'll win 5-4. Like in my opinion, the Avalanche, to Dustin's point, they've been the best from day one. There hasn't really been a hink at all. They've been doing nothing but continuing, their greatness into the playoffs, and I have no reason to believe. And honestly, my concerns really came from Tampa Bay kind of going 2-0 against the New York Rangers. The reason personally why that kind of worries me a little bit is if they come out lackadaisical the first 2 games against the Avalanche, you're not coming back 0-2 against the Avalanche. There's no way. There's no way you're coming back 0-2. So I'll be nice and agree with Dustin. I'll say 5, but bro, I can see a sweep because in my opinion, I think a really good team in the Tampa Bay Lightning is just this year playing a great team in the Avalanche.
All right, folks. Yeah, man. So tomorrow is game 1 for the Stanley Cup Finals. And what's really crazy, I was talking to Gonzo about it. To me, it just seems terrible. I really felt like tonight should have been game 1 because tomorrow you got game 6 of the Western Conference, or the finals. I don't want to say Western Conference, the finals. So it's almost like they're competing against each other. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be playoff sports period, heavy loaded between NHL and the NBA. So yeah, tomorrow's going to be a very interesting day. And then moving on, we got should the White Sox fire Tony La Russa after the fans voiced their opinion? Of course, if you've been keeping up with Tony had that one controversial walk where he had the hitter down 2 strikes and then winds up walking him. I think it was Trey Turner. I think was the one who came up to bat. If I'm not mistaken. Stat guy, correct me when I'm done. I'm pretty sure I might have this backwards. But then he gives up the home run because the guy said, F you, Tony. If you're going to walk him, he's got 2 strikes. Okay, I got you. And then he hits a home run, wins the game. Tony looks pretty stupid for doing that, but he does stand behind his decision, although I can't for the life of me think why you would walk somebody when you got 2 strikes on them. But that's just me. But again, they go into I believe it was against the Rangers, and they were up on the Rangers, and they give that one up 11-9 in 10 innings, and chance of fire Tony pretty much broke out after that. So I don't know, man. Right now they're 27-30. They're not looking too good. I think right behind the Mets. I believe in the playoff. Not the Mets. Excuse me. How was that team they're behind? I know they're down there around the middle of the pack in their division. I have to go back and look at it, but. Yeah, man. I think Tony has definitely got some questionable calls there. Gonzo, what do you think about Tony and them saying fire Tony? Is it time for him to go, or is it just, hey, it is what it is?
I think it is what it is because I don't think the White Sox really should have ever hired him. That's what you're going to get an older coach. Why you would walk somebody after you have them down 0-2 makes no sense in the world to me. I know he tried to come up with a reasoning behind it, but it still didn't make no sense. You got a guy down 0-2. If you're going to walk him, you should have walked him from the beginning, not after you get 2 strikes on him. So that didn't make much sense at all. But I just felt like they should have got a different coach when they hired him a couple of years ago. So I just think his time has kind of passed.
Yeah, Rob. I know you're kind of new to the baseball world, and it kind of follows in the Chicago line of things. What do you think about this?
Repeat that question for me, Jay.
No, so Tony La Russa, they're chanting. The fans are chanting "Fire Tony." I think based on the blown walk and then giving up the home run in a previous game, and then they blew the game against the Rangers when they were up by a lot of points, and then they wound up losing 11-9. Of course, then they start chanting "Fire Tony." So, do you think Tony La Russa should be fired with the White Sox, or should they keep him and just keep rolling?
Hey, I'm gonna actually let y'all take that question because I'm not a baseball follower. I don't even want to pretend.
Yeah, I kind of thought that's okay. It's okay. So, stat guy. Hey, I know you got some breaking news about the Wizards. Go ahead and let everybody know what you were talking about, what you found out.
Bradley Beal has officially requested a trade from the Wizards, and I have a feeling he's going to end up in Portland since Portland has been actively pursuing him and Zach LaVine to pair him with Lillard.
That should be saucy if that comes to fruition. I don't blame Bradley Beal for asking for a trade. I mean, they freaking watched it. They're really not doing too much over there anyway. He is kind of getting long in the tooth. So, does anybody think that that's a bad idea that he should be requesting a trade? I personally don't.
No, I don't. Now this is a question I can't answer. I feel like the Washington Wizards have neglected Bradley Beal. They spent so much energy into John Wall, and they're trying to bring Russell Westbrook over there, then even giving a little energy to Kyle Kuzma, that they neglected to just build a team around Beal. To me personally, if I'm Beal, I want to trade. Like you completely neglected me as one of the faces of this organization, as one of the faces that make this organization, noticeable and relatable to the fans. So I want to get up out of here. You haven't given me any opportunity to win. I was neck and neck at one point in time as one of the potential scoring champions in this league. I'm an all-star, If I'm Bradley Beal, I want to explore my options now because clearly the Wizards look at him as second fiddle to everybody else.
Yeah. So, stat guy, our team already talked to you about. So you, stat guy, you had Chicago, or what do you think was going to go on with La Russa? Should he be fired or should he stay? What's your opinion on it? I know you know a lot about baseball.
I don't think he should be fired despite the White Sox underachieving because you also have to look at the injuries the White Sox have had as a team. Lance Lynn, who was arguably their best and most consistent starter last year, made his first start of the season last night as he was coming off off-season knee injury. Lucas Giolito missed the first month of the season with COVID. Michael Kopech ended up getting hurt in his last start. They lost Carlos Rodon, who was an impressive starter last year. Eloy Jimenez has been out for about a month and a half. Luis Roberts was missing time with COVID. I mean, the entire White Sox lineup has gone through so many injuries that for them to be in the position they are, they have to consider themselves fortunate because they are only 4 games out of first place. And they still are the most talented team in that AL Central where when they get all the pieces back, they should have no problem running away with that division. But now if they continue to play the way they've been playing the past 3-4 weeks where they've been playing 500 ball or if not worse over this stretch, then yes, I do think the White Sox need to move on from Tony La Russa next year because at that point it's going to basically be like he's lost the team because this team is far too talented to be in the position they're in right now. But injuries have played a big role as to why they are where they are right now. So at this point, you can't fire the guy because he still has you in division contention despite the injuries you dealt with.
Right. Pride, how you feel about Tony La Russa in terms of the fans chanting for his firing? Do you believe he needs to be fired or is he good to go?
I would fire him. And I would only fire him for one reason and one reason only, because he was never wanted. You got to remember, when he first came in, the players were like, I don't know about this one, Chief. Fans were already chanting. So if I'm going to fire him, it's not because Dustin's point. Chicago's been going through a lot of injuries, so obviously it's going to be rough for them. But honestly, I would move on from him only because he was never wanted. The instant he stepped foot in there, people wanted to get rid of him. So I just agree.
Hey, Pike, can you turn up your volume just a little bit? I think they were having a hard time hearing part of what you were saying. Yeah, we'll get Pride back on the next one. So we're gonna move on real quick. So we gotta go into Walsh hits for cycle as the Angels get the W. The Angels are a very, very interesting team to me right now because they route the Mets on Walsh's cycle and Trout's 2 home runs, and they get the 11-6 win. But it seems to me that during this season for the Angels, they've managed to get a no-hitter, a franchise record losing streak. They fired their manager, then had a player hit for cycle, all in the span of 5 weeks. That is insane to me. That is the craziest damn thing I've ever seen. And, it's interesting, so we think of the no-hitters as being a hard thing to achieve, but in actuality, the cycle is even rarer or even harder to achieve than a no-hitter. There's only been 9 this is the 9th cycle in franchise history, and Walsh went 4 of 5 with 3 RBIs. And, it's interesting. This is, of course, Trout's 23 home run, 23rd multi-home run game. But, when you think of cycles, there's not a whole lot of cycles in baseball, at least not nearly as much as there are no-hitters. Gonzo, what do you think about him going for cycle, and what does the outlook look like? Of course, you can also talk about Trout and the outlook for the Angels in the season.
For the Angels, they've just been so inconsistent. I mean, they have some good pitching. They have offense, but they haven't been able to do both at the same time consistently. Also, I would like to ask that guy a question is, there's already been 3 cycles hit this season. Is that high compared to like how many cycles we would usually get in a season?
It isn't. Usually there's around like 5 or 6 cycles in a year. You can usually count on maybe 1 a month. So, I mean, it's kind of on pace with what we usually see, but the players that are getting it are kind of the surprising players. Like, no one would expect Walsh to come up with a cycle.
Yeah, it's not the big stars that are getting them. It's guys that more people haven't really heard of.
Yeah. And the funny thing is with what Jay said about the Angels, too, how they go on a franchise record 14-game losing streak and they fire Joe Madden, and all of a sudden they're 4-1 since they fired him. Look at the Philadelphia Phillies, too. Philadelphia Phillies were hovering right around 500 or under 500 for most of the year. They go and fire Joe Girardi, and they're 7-2 since they fired Joe Girardi. So does that mean that Joe Girardi and Joe Madden are terrible managers? No, it just means that Joe Madden wasn't right for the Anaheim Angels, and Joe Girardi wasn't the right fit for the Philadelphia Phillies. Because the Philadelphia Phillies are a very talented team. Yes. And the fact that they were hovering right around 500 the past 3 seasons under Joe Girardi shows that Girardi wasn't the right fit for Philadelphia because he could never get the most out of his players for whatever reason. Same thing with Joe Madden. Joe Madden was a great fit in Tampa Bay, and he was a great fit when he went to the Cubs because the Cubs and the Tampa Bay Rays had a very similar roster where their roster was built off of all these young prospects that were that kind of needed that veteran guidance to lead them to where they wanted to go, which is what Madden did. He got the Rays to the World Series in 2008, and then he got to the Cubs the World Series in 2016. The Angels were a completely different situation. He goes to a team that has players like Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon and Shohei Ohtani and all these older seasoned veterans that have been in the league long enough. They don't need this kind of old school manager to come in to do things. They need more of these younger, upbeat managers to kind of bring in a new sense of life. And I think that's kind of what you're seeing now because the Angels bench coach, I think, is only 41 or 42. And all of a sudden now the Angels are playing much better.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. Pride, how do you feel about Walsh and the Angels and everything that's gone on in the last 5 weeks?
Just give me 1 second, boys.
Okay. Yeah, and again, while we're waiting on him, stat guy, what do you see going forward with, or actually, not only actually that, what do you think was good? What team do you think Girardi, or do you think Girardi will land with another team?
I don't think he lands with another team. I think he goes back to either ESPN or MLB Network. I mean, you look at his track record. He was I'm not going to say very good. He was a good manager when he was with the Miami Marlins. And he overachieved when he was with Miami. He gave them 2 winning seasons. Granted, they didn't make the playoffs. It's still more winning seasons than what they've had the past 10 years when he was there. Goes to the New York Yankees, and he gets that World Series in 2009. But outside of that, what did he do with the Yankees? He may have gotten to the playoffs, but it was constant first-round exits. And when you have the talent that New York had back when he was there, first-round exits are unacceptable. And now you put him in a situation in Philadelphia where you already had Bryce Harper. You signed Castellanos this offseason. You signed Kyle Schwarber this offseason. You have JT Realmuto. You have Rhys Hoskins. You have Gene Segura. That's one of the deepest and most dangerous lineups in all of Major League Baseball. And yet your team can only play 500. That just goes to show you that a lot of times teams that have success in baseball, it's not about the manager. It's about the actual talent, and it's about the actual way the team goes about their business, because there's no way this Philadelphia Phillies team should be 500. When you look at that lineup and you have 3 guys that are going to hit 100 home runs between the 3 of them, there's no way this is a 500 ball club. It's just, for whatever reason, Girardi has not had a longevity of a track record managing successful franchises. Right. He needs to be more with like a team like Miami that has younger players kind of in that rebuilding mode where he can kind of use that guidance and kind of build a team up that way. He can't go to a team that has all this veteran talent because it just doesn't work.
Which is, one of the reasons, I guess, as an older coach, I really like Dusty Baker because what he's done with Houston, since he's inherited it back in 2017 with, losing players to free agency or bringing up prospects, he's kept us, at a very, very competitive level, especially, of course, going to the World Series last year. Now we're back to the top of our division, 9 games, 8 games, whatever it is on top. Not that our division is exactly the strongest of divisions, but if you look at our record, we do have a really good record. So what Dusty Baker has done for this team, especially at his age, and I know he's like in his 80s, is just, to me, phenomenal.
But if you look at Dusty Baker's past, too, and all the teams he's managed, whether it's been the Giants, the Cubs, the Nationals, and now Houston, they're veteran-heavy teams.
Well, yeah.
Back when he was with the Giants, he had Barry Bonds and JT Snow and Rick Aguilar and all those veterans. Goes to the Cubs in 2003, and he's got Sammy Sosa, Kenny Lofton, Moises Alou, Jim Edmonds, and like that group of veterans. Goes to Washington, and granted, like Bryce Harper and Rendon and them were younger players back then, but they were still in the league for 5 or 6 years before he got there. So every team that he's been with has been more of a veteran-heavy team that's been in the league and have been playing together for 8 years. So, yeah, you're getting a new manager, but they still have the chemistry of it being together for 8 years.
With the exception of Alvarez and Pena, both who, obviously Alvarez got rookie, I think in his rookie season, rookie of the year. And it looks like Pena, has a really good shot at getting it as well. So he has developed the younger guys coming up. And let's be honest, with the exception of Verlander this year, most of our pitching staff is still fairly young and new. So I think he's doing a really good job with the pitching staff and developing and bringing them along as well. You know what I mean?
He's not even touching the pitching staff. I can tell you that much.
Oh, I'm sure he's not, but I mean, I still think he has.
Because if you remember what happened back in 2003 with the Chicago Cubs, a lot of people blame him for what happened to Kerry Wood and Mark Prior.
And ever since 2003, he's never touched a bullpen, and it's always been mutual, where the team doesn't want him to.
Yep.
And he himself has never ever fully gotten over 2003.
Yep.
To the point that now and this is something we also need to notice. Every other stop he's been to, understand. The bench coaches and the pitching coaches were very, very, at the bare minimum, very good. To the point that he never had to touch the pitching. He never had to worry about the pitching because he never got over them. And since he doesn't show that confidence that, oh yeah, I could take that responsibility, other teams never let that go either.
Yep.
So every time he goes elsewhere, you got to remember, every time he goes to a new situation, everybody else in terms of the other coaching staff never changes. It's always the same exact guys that was there the year prior. Why? Because if that way, especially for the pitching, he doesn't want to touch that. He would never want to touch that. Because he would if you give him the choice, he would rather right now go manage the Miami Marlins, a bad team but a young team that has plenty of young talent and has the pitching staff to take care of their own, or the pitching managers to take care of their own. He'd rather do that than go to the Yankees, a dominant team, and then let's say he goes there and he would have to touch the pitching staff. He would never want to do that. He would rather take the L's than to go and do that, the whole pitch staff thing, because he's never ever lived that down. And honestly, I don't blame him. I really don't, because I'll be honest, bro. If I was in his position, shoot, forget it, bro. If I have a picture in my house, I'm throwing it out the window. We're getting water straight from the tap. That's all everything. We getting water straight from the tap. We get no lemonade up in this house, no nothing. I'm throwing all my pictures out. So
he was the same way when he was in Cincinnati as well.
Yeah, when he had Mark Prior and Kerry Wood, those two guys were the two best pitchers in baseball that year. Yes. And he would ride those guys every 3 days. Yes. He would put them on short rest every single week, every single start in the playoffs. They were going on short rest, and look what happened to their careers after that. He single-handedly broke their arms within a year. And then when he goes to Washington, look what happened to Steven Strasburg his first 2 years in Washington.
Same thing.
Baker drove him into the ground to the point where Strasburg couldn't pitch for 2 years.
The same thing with the Reds too. He went there and burned up all them arms.
Exactly. So that's why, the pitch. I'm not. Now, this is not a knock on Dusty, but we also need to take into consideration, we can't give him credit for the pitching. We can't, only because, and if you hear interviews, because people are interviewing him, and he's pretty open. So if you want to talk about 2003, he talks about it. But when he talks about it, he doesn't talk about it like a guy who was like, "Damn, man, I done goofed, but I learned." He talks about it as if he lives it every day.
Yeah, I've watched that interview many times, and to this day, he's already said that 2003 was the year that got away. When you look at the pitching staff that he had that year, and to this day, he actually takes the blame for what happened to Mark Prior and Kerry Wood. He shoulders that blame every single day, basically saying Prior was a 24-year-old rookie, Kerry Wood was a 26-year-old coming off of Tommy John surgery in 2001. And I single-handedly drove them into the ground where they were never the same.
And Mark Prior was a freaking good pitcher too. Damn.
And here's the thing, and you saying that, Dustin, that's why Dusty Baker, even though he did that, that's why a lot of people still hold Dusty Baker in high regard. Because if that was Joe Girardi, if that was Buck Showalter, if that was, I even throw John Madden in that conversation. If it was Terry Francona, if it was any other manager, they would never ever take that level of accountability that Dusty Baker not only took, but this is the accountability he took without being forced. Mm-hmm. This is him from day one. He said from 2003, I blew it. And he was like, I had two phenomenal, great pitchers. and who knows how their career would have turned out. But we always will have that what if, and it's because of me. Like, you tell me another manager who would do that.
Oh yeah, I agree. That level of accountability, you don't see hardly. You'll never see it, really, honestly.
Exactly. So they're far and few between, which is why guys like Dusty Baker, people still gravitate towards him. That's why people go, you know what? Yeah, he messed up, but he took accountability for it. He messed up in 03. He took accountability. He had 2 great pitches. He drove him to the ground, but he admits it. And that alone makes people look at you, go, you know what? That level of accountability, and that's a great accountability, because as he holds himself in that regard, it's now easy for him to hold a guy like Sammy Sosa. It's easy for him to hold a guy like Barry Bonds. It's easy for him to hold a guy like Bryce Harper. All guys who were prima donnas, let's be honest. But because his entire career, even back when he was a player, because Dusty Baker put that accountability on himself, it is very hard for you to not listen to him in the clubhouse when he's yelling at you, and if he tells you we need an extra hard practice. It's kind of the same thing with Jimmy Johnson and the Dallas Cowboys. When Jimmy Johnson told those dudes we need a harder practice, Troy Aikman, he knew we need a harder practice. Emerson, we need a harder practice. Michael, we need it. They knew it because he was saying it, and because of his reputation of him holding himself and everyone else accountable. When he would come up to them and say that stuff, everybody knew it's going to be a bitch, but he's right. We need it. And that's the same thing Dusty Baker has done. When he tells you we need a hard practice, like you're going to be doing a lot of sprints. Yeah, the players go, because obviously it's a who wants to do it. But in the back of their mind, they're like, look, man, if Dusty's saying it, we need it. There's no debate.
Jay, when you watch baseball nowadays, how many pitchers throw 100 pitches per start?
It's not very often because most of them don't even make it past the 6th inning. I mean, typically 6 when they take them out. So they're usually putting about 80 to 90, but I don't see
if you go back to that 2003 season, between Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor, and Carlos Zambrano, who was a rookie that year, the Cubs had 97 consecutive starts where a pitcher threw at least 110 pitches.
Wow, that's crazy.
That shows you how much Dusty Baker worked those 3 guys.
Isn't that crazy? That's nuts.
It's insane. It is freaking insane.
So, Prime, what do you think about Walsh hitting for cycle, man? How crazy is that?
You know what the cycle really reminds me of? It's kind of funny because it was last year. I was having a conversation with a friend, and I was talking about, man, I do kind of like the no hitters going on. And he told me, I do. Until you realize who's doing it. I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, think about it. They're bums. And I was like, they're bums? Look into it. And then I'm looking into it, and I'm like, imagine if I looked you in the face and I told you a washed-up Corey Kluber had a no-hitter. Weird, right? That just sounds weird. I look at it the same ways here. No disrespect to Walsh. No disrespect whatsoever. But if you were to ever go to anyone who knows baseball and says, yo, Jared Walsh, he had a cycle, you're getting laughed out of that place. No disrespect to Jared Walsh whatsoever. No disrespect. But you're getting laughed out. He's a solid rotational player. Solid, right? Cool everyday player. Nothing special. But again, it's not Shohei Ohtani getting the cycles. It's not Mike Trout. It's guys who got batting 8th and 9th. For all you Boston fans out there, that's like Christian Vasquez getting a cycle. Jackie Bradley Jr. getting a cycle. Like, what?
They probably thought the same thing when Roger Maris hit 61 home runs, and it's like, why was that not somebody named Babe or Lou?
Exactly. So that's kind of how I look at it. You know what I mean? It sucks trying to take credit, but then when you really look at it, like, a lot of the times the cycle comes. And think about it. And Chris was like, yo, how many cycles are usually hit throughout the year? The reason why no one remembers that is the same reason why people don't know outside of Dustin, because this kid is not a human. You're a machine. You're a computer. So outside of Dustin, okay, this is why people don't know how many on average, because it's not the big name player. It's not a prime Clayton Kershaw or last year's Walker Buehler. You're not looking at a guy like Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, a healthy Chris Sale. It's not those guys. It's guys like Nick Pivetta, guys who like are fourth in a rotation, getting them, and that's really what it comes down to. Look, congratulations to them, but it also kind of like in the sense to try to take it away from them. But yeah, he's gonna have a cycle that he's gonna go over for 3 games.
Yeah, so if you want to go back to 2019, well, look at these are the players who have hit cycles since 2019. Jorge Polanco.
Who?
Jorge
An old Jorge
Polanco.
Polanco. An old Jorge Polanco. Tell the full story.
Yep, Jake Bauer.
Who?
He was a minor leaguer for the Cleveland Indians who got called up on June 14th, played 3 games, and got a cycle. Trey Turner, Jonathan VR, Kevin Biggio, Jake Cronenworth, Freddie Freeman, Eddie Rosario, Christian Yelich, Jared Walsh, and Eduardo Escobar. There's maybe, 3 players on there that you would think would get a cycle? The rest of them are just a bunch of throw-ins?
Yeah, that's correct. I get it. And I guess it's because the cycle is just such a rare bird. I mean, it's almost an anomaly, right?
Especially in the way the game's played nowadays, where it's all strikeout or home run.
Well, it's not only that too. The way parks are constructed right now, it's so hard to get a triple.
And I was about to say, like, the hardest part about a cycle
is the triple.
It's not the home run. It's not the single or the double. Yeah. Because a lot of players with decent speed, you'll see it. Shoot, I saw Albert Pujols, who I walk backwards faster than he runs, and I've seen him stretch a single into a double. So it's not that, but it's the triple. You either have to have the same speed like a Billy Hamilton back in the day when he was with the Reds, or a Trey Turner. You either need that level of insane speed, or you need a hope and pray that the outfielder mishandles it, but doesn't mishandle it enough to be called an error. Because
you hope you get a bad bounce off the wall.
Exactly. Like, you need a hope and pray you have that little bit of luck. Because how many times, and I've seen this a lot. I've seen a lot where a guy almost had a cycle. Right. But the reason why he didn't get it was because as soon as he touched second, and it looked like he was going for third, whoever was fielding it bobbled it, and they called it an error. So they give him a double and then reach third on error. Yep. So, like, to Dustin's point, it's that triple that's a problem. And honestly, I think that's a problem with baseball. Like, you do need to make the base running a little more excitable. You know what I mean? I'll be honest, what I would do, and honestly, you don't even have to do nothing crazy. The short walls, like you see at Yankee Stadium, the short walls you see in Boston, I'm eliminating those. You'll raise them up a little bit, and I promise you triples are going up through the roof. Because think about it. A guy will have 10 triples, and everyone's like, oh, my God, that's amazing. If having 9 triples ties you for second in the league, that's bad. And that just goes to show you of those triples, that means whoever had a triple, you had, in the course of, like, 1,375 games a year, right? You basically had 10 triples. That's 10 opportunities you had to get a cycle. Now, of those, how many times did he actually get it? Very rare. So if I'm MLB, I'm that's just me. I'm raising some of the short decks. Nothing too crazy. I'm not saying make it like the Green Monster, but
no. But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing too, Pride. Going back to 1995, the average distance down the line in baseball was 347. The average power alley was like 380, and the average center field was like 430. Fast forward to this year, the average distance down the line is 320, and average center field is 410. Like, the fences are 20 to 30 feet shorter, so even if you were to hit one, it's going to get to the wall sooner than what it normally does, and that gives an outfielder a quicker chance to get to it. So even if you do put the ball in the gap, or if you do put the ball down the line, it's going to be very difficult to get a triple anyways.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting to me, too, is another interesting fact is Shohei Ohtani. I think what makes him so great, you know, as a player, as an all-around player, is the fact that he's got a no-hitter this year, and he got cycle in 2019. I mean, how crazy is that?
I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some Babe Ruth-like stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he is the closest thing to Babe Ruth that we've had since Babe Ruth played, so.
To be honest, And it's because a lot of people go, oh man, what? And he really is, because not only he's got the power, he's working even better on his contact and pitching. He is healthy. They made a rule for the guy. They made a rule so that way when he gets taken out, he can just be a DH.
Yeah.
If that is not Babe Ruth-like, then the only way he'll be Babe Ruth-like is if he packs more pounds, goes to New York, and then all of a sudden just changes his name to Babe Ruth.
And dyes his hair blonde or something.
That's it, bro. That's it.
Hey, listen. Unfortunately, this is a part of the show that sucks, because I hate to say, see it happen. But, we got to remember that, Steve Sack's son was among 5 Marines that were killed in an Osprey training crash. It was around 115 miles from San Diego east and 50 miles from Yuma, Arizona. And, the unfortunate thing is that Osprey aircraft, it's a rotary-propelled aircraft, so it's part helicopter, part plane, but it has a lot of mechanical issues with it. And there's been quite a few accidents that have come from this aircraft, and it's probably one of the few aircraft that are, that's just it plays a good part, or it played a big role in Afghanistan, played a pretty big role in Iraq. But it's just so unreliable on the maintenance side that it really does scare the crap out of you when you're on it. And so, again, his son, I think, was 33 years old. His name was John J. Sachs, captain. And I think it was 5 other Marines. Obviously, you can see their names right there. And it's just such a terrible thing to see happen. But these things do happen, unfortunately. But we got to remember, John Sachs was a second baseman, had a hell of a career, right? But man, just his son from the time he was born, he said always wanted to be a pilot. I mean, from the time he was probably in elementary school, he would point out different types of airplanes in the sky to his dad, and his dad, I think, always knew that my son's going to be a pilot at some level. So, as unfortunate, as his and tragic as his passing is, it's still nice to see somebody live out their dreams, do what they want to do, at the end of the day. But John Sachs, my heart goes out to your family, man.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers for sure. I mean, that man, I can't even imagine. That really sucked. But I guess, like you said, even it's real tragic. But also, it happened with him doing what he loved to do. So I guess if something has to happen, I'd rather it happen me getting to be doing something I love to do than a different way. So, I mean, I know it don't help anything, but you know what I mean? I think that's one way you can look at it to kind of try to brighten things up. But thoughts and prayers to the Sachs family.
Yeah, brother, it's tragic, but not many people get to do the job that for them it's not even a job. Like I guarantee for Captain Sachs, that's not a job. I mean, that was just part of his life, part of who he was, and you don't get to have those types of careers very often. So yeah. But again, we will remember them, especially at Memorial Day. I will definitely keep him and his family in my heart. Going forward, as well as Pat Tillman's family. If y'all know who Pat Tillman, he was the Cardinal who basically quit his NFL career in his prime and then went to become special forces in the Army and was killed in combat. So these types of people are just very extraordinary, and we definitely keep them close to our heart throughout the year.
Let me clarify something, and not just the Sachs family.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers to all 5 families.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Nathan, Corporal Carlson, Corporal Strickland, or Lance Corporal Strickland, Corporal, Rasmussen. And then, of course, you got Captain Lecipio. Yeah, Lecipio. And then Captain Sachs. Obviously, all our prayers go out to all of your families, man. We appreciate the service for which you provide. UFC 275, Prochazka wins the title in submission. 28 seconds left to go in, I believe it was the 5th round. And the thing that was interesting to me, Gonzo, was Teixeira was actually winning the fight. On the scorecards, Teixeira was winning. And had it not been, I think, for that submission, I think he would have won that fight. But Teixeira, he was grappling. His ground game was smothering. And I think when you look at Prochaska, his ability to strike and the body blows was amazing. But I think at the end of the day, man, he just got that lucky submit on him and took the win. What did you think of that fight, Gonzo?
No, I thought it was a pretty good fight. I had picked Prochaska to win the fight. I would have thought one of them would have lost in a choke. I'd have thought it'd been the other way around. But I think Glover just got a little bit fatigued toward the end of the fight. I mean, he's 43 years old. He's been fighting forever. And to be at the level still be at the level he's at that age is unbelievable, especially in the fight game.
Right.
But it was a fun fight to watch. I got home in time to watch the last two fights of the card. Got to watch. I can't think of her name now. The women fight before this, and then Prochaska and Teixeira. But no, I thought it was a pretty close fight. I thought it was an entertaining fight. But I'm ready to see how Prochaska improves, because he definitely has to improve some stuff on his stand up.
Teixeira wanted to fight on the ground. Yeah, he did. That was his style. He's more of a grappler, but I think Prochaska is more of an upright, type fighter. So, but man, got him on this submission. 28 seconds. If Teixeira could have held on 28 more damn seconds, we'd probably be looking at Teixeira as a lightweight champion.
Yeah, could have.
Shevchenko versus Santos was the women's.
Yes, Shevchenko and Santos. So I missed the other woman's fight where Zhang hit her with that spinning back fist.
So I believe it was John Suggs. Before we get out of here, I believe it was John Suggs that was asking about if we were going to get into wrestling, where we're going to talk about the Jeff Hardy situation. Again, I don't know what's going on with these athletes, and not being able to just do the right things, but. Again, it just shows you, man. Sometimes, I don't know, I guess life gets you. And for Jeff Hardy, that DUI, I will tell you this. If he just gets 5 years, 2 years probation, whatever, he's a lucky son of a gun. Because honestly, when you get behind the wheel of that car and you get a DUI, you could have hit somebody. I mean, he could have gone out there and killed somebody, and it really not only ended that person's life and him have to carry that burden, but also that would have been probably a very long, lengthy jail sentence for him. So, Jeff Hardy should be very lucky and count his blessings that the cops pulled him over and at the very worst case, he gets a DUI, whatever, and not having to have somebody's death on his hands. So I consider Jeff Hardy to honestly be a very lucky guy. Gonzo?
Oh, yeah. It could have been a real tragedy for a lot of people. So I'm glad none of that happened. But, yeah, from what I heard, he was drunker than hell, too. And man, it just sucks. He's put his body through so much. It goes back to what we've talked about before, Jay. Is if you need help, go get help.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unfortunately, he hasn't went and got the help that he needs yet. And it takes some people longer than others. Hopefully, he can get the help before something too tragic happens, because he could ruin his life and a lot of other people's lives. The other night.
Like I said, he got really, really lucky that, the worst case that comes out of it is, if he has to do a little probation time or whatever. I mean, if that's the worst you get and pay a fine or whatever, then in my opinion, you came out ahead, because that could, like you said, Gonzo, that could have been, irreversible damage that you can't take back. It is what it is. Moving on, I guess last topic, I forgot we had this one in there. Last topic is Grizzlies extend Taylor Jenkins' contract as the head coach. I guess that was a foregone conclusion that his contract would get extended, especially with how well the Grizzlies performed. What do you see? I think with the Memphis Grizzlies, I think they're going to be, if they stay healthy and everything, I think if they put one or two additions onto that team, I can see the Grizzlies going pretty far in the playoffs next year, Gonzo. What do you think about him getting his contract extended and the outlook of the Grizzlies?
I think he definitely deserved the extension. Like you said, I think everybody knew he was going to get it. And what he's done with that young core is, he's done a great job. Look how great that young core played even when Morant was out.
Oh, yeah.
They had a winning record even when Morant went in there. So the guys buy into are buying into his system and his way of doing things. So, I mean, if you get a coach like that, you have to hold on to him. So I thought that was a great move. I think the Grizzlies could have the potential, especially if Morant stays healthy, to be a top 3 or 4 team in the West next season.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, they're going to be a very, very tough team to deal with. And I think they're going to be a tough team. I think Minnesota T-Wolves are going to, be a tough team. I mean, the Western Conference still has, lots and lots of talented teams. And I still think, that the Western Conference, in my opinion, is a lot tougher to go through from round 1 all the way to the finals than the East Coast. Not that the East Coast is a cakewalk, but I just think there's more athleticism, more talent, more experience on the West Coast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. And the Denver Nuggets might be better as well.
Woo, Lord, yes. If they can just all stay healthy. If Murray stays healthy, Michael Porter Jr., man.
Yeah, and then Suggs said New Orleans as a dark horse, and I'll tell you what, if Zion's healthy, that could they could be good because they were looking good in the playoffs, or in that play-in, I should say. And if you add Zion to that team, I mean, they took Memphis 7, didn't they? Or was it 6?
Yeah. I think it was 7. I want to say it was 7, but I might be wrong. I would have to go back and research. I want to say it was, for some reason I'm thinking 7. I'm not 100% sure. Boston Bruins fired their head coach last week and got hired today by the Vegas Knights. Interesting. We'll have to wait to see what Vegas Knights produces after that then. But going back to the Pelicans, man, with the healthy Zion, if he stays healthy all year and that chemistry that he can build with his already good unit, I mean, the ceiling is pretty damn high for the Pelicans, right?
Yep.
Crazy, man. Just freaking crazy.
Especially if Brandon Ingram keeps growing like he's been growing.
God, I know. What a time to be alive and watching this Pelicans team develop. I mean, seriously, watch them to develop. It's just insane to me. All right, we have gotten to the last part. Final thoughts. Gonzo, I'll let you go first. What are your final thoughts, my brother?
I'm ready to get through this slow sports season that we're getting ready to have for the next couple months and get to some football.
Yes. It is going to be slim pickings once these playoffs are done because all we'll have is baseball. So until football gets back into gear. But that's okay, man. Hey, lots, once we hit about September, October,
then we gotta get baseball and then get football at the same time. Oh
yeah. So we just got to get through a few months. Not a big deal. We'll make it. It's like I need to fix a crack cocaine to get through.
Hey Jay, let me ask you a question. Do you watch a lot of playoff baseball?
Yeah, once we get into the playoffs, I really start. Well, because here in Savannah, I don't get. I get the Braves, but I don't really get a lot of baseball except for maybe the Yankees every now and then. So I don't get a chance unless I stream it, and then of course I can watch it. But yeah,
I watch almost every playoff game when baseball playoffs start. I love watching baseball playoffs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, shout out to the volunteers.
Notre Dame here, Tennessee. Even though I'm not a Notre Dame
that was a tough win for them. So, man, good game for the volunteers. I got a friend that's volunteers fan, so I'm just happy.
I'm not a Notre Dame fan, but I'll give them some love just because they're from Indiana.
Hey, man, to close out the show, we will see you guys on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And, again, man, thoughts and prayers are with not only the Sachs family, but our thoughts and prayers are with ASAP's own Greg Broderick. His grandmother passed away, and we are thinking of him and his family, and we will keep him and them in our prayers. And, sorry for your loss, brother. Okay, man, we are at the end of the show, guys. Hey, you can catch me, Gonzo, Logan. Hopefully Rob will be back on, and we will talk some more sports. And until next time, this is Unscripted, and we are out of here, folks.
I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free, cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free, cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush, cause I'm top shelf. I ain't got wealth, but I'm on my grind like park rails. I'd sell the shoes right off my 2 feet, then add one, that's a yard sale. Got dumb bars that be smarter than Harvard, Yale. Take your pictures elsewhere, you wanna be TMZ, I wanna be VIP. Quit pandering, I'm not answering, cause I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk, my style ain't free, cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk, my style ain't free, cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. All of that bark and no bite, that's alright. Not everyone can be the big dog. Take a walk, kick rocks, can't keep me out cause I pick locks.